Talk. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. How y'all doing today? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, like Mr. Rogers used to say when we was youngsters. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Beautiful day, man. You can see it was partly cloudy, but it wasn't cloudy where it wasn't blocking out the sun, man. So the sun was shining today. You can see the blue skies, man. Puffy clouds, man. Good barbecue weather. Good family, good unity type of situations, man. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about this day called Memorial Day today, and I felt good about it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I usually don't do Euro holidays. Pagan holidays, let's just say it like that. I don't want to sound too offensive, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to Coffee Talk. But when it comes to holidays, Memorial Day, I was thinking to myself about all the people we done lost, all the people we didn't get to say goodbye to, all the people that we did, the good times. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Memorial Day is about. I don't care how it came into existence with somebody making it a declaration of a holiday today, and you may not agree with it or don't agree with it. I might not agree with it, don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, Memorial is me, you, us giving our flowers, giving our admiration, our appreciation for those that we lost. If you're a real one, you feel that, right? So may everybody have had a good day today. May everybody have had a positive day today. May everybody from adults to children have smiled today. How about that? Yeah, so welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. Let's go ahead and get on with the show. Now, listen, this is our Cultural Studies Night. Straight up and down. It's Monday. Y'all know how it is if you follow the show. We like to go ahead and give our props to our authors, our scholars, our scientists, our people, us. It's our cultural night. And so we got a big show for you tonight. We're definitely going to talk about Black first as far as business and inventions. And then we're going to do a poem. It's a folklore, and it's called Promises of Freedom. So we definitely going to have that tonight. Again, welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. Now, if this is your first time watching our show, we're a cultural variety podcast show. We like to appear 3 days a week. We did give you a show yesterday, though. So we're just getting back in the groove of things, and we're happy to be here. But we appear 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and alternate Friday and Saturday. So Mondays is what we like to call our Cultural Studies Night. Wednesdays is our sports edition. Now, we're not like your typical sports show. We don't really care who won or lost. We like to talk about our athletes and their dealings in the world of sports. So that's what we do on Wednesday nights. And then on Friday, Saturday nights, we like to have fun. We like to have guest appearances. We like to play 10-question Q&A. We like to just have fun. We call that let your hair down, grown people night. Pop you a little something to drink and enjoy yourself on the weekend like we know how to do. You know what I'm saying? But that is our Coffee Talk Podcast. And if this is your first time coming on the show, we never start the show without adding its flavor. We never start the show without giving it its flavor. We never start the show without either also giving it some wise words out there. You know what I'm saying, for our viewers and our listeners. But tonight's flavor is not so necessary a flavor, but perhaps something we all need. Let's go ahead and give it the flavor of the night. Tonight's flavor is distilled water. Distilled water is sometimes called demineralized or deionized water. It is water that has everything removed, including the ions and the minerals. It's the purest form of water that you can get. It literally has nothing in it, good or bad. This means it has no contaminants, no bacteria, no minerals, or no nutrients. Who is it best for? Its high level of purity makes it the water of choice in places like laboratories and factories. It is also good if you want to drink water that is completely pure. What is its biggest benefits? Distilled water has the highest level of purity and is almost sterile. Well, what is its risk issues? There are no harmful risks associated with distilled water because it is so clean. However, some health reports suggest that it might not be the best to always drink water that is completely empty of its healthy minerals and nutrients. So you know you need the minerals and the nutrients. But that is our flavor today. Distilled water is our flavor today. So if you're new to the show and you always catch us doing our flavor, some days it's wine. Some days it's a smoothie. Some days it's coffee. We always add flavor to our show, hence the word coffee talk. All right. But now, before we get into our show, as I did Sunday, I want to go ahead and read off the names of the people that was lost. So if you saw yesterday's episode, we started it with our people that was assassinated in Buffalo, New York. So we read off their names. And then today we saved the names of the 21 people that was assassinated in Uvalde, Texas by a gunman by the name of Salvador Ramos, 18-year-old kid. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I remember back in the 90s when it first started, like when they started to do that. I was actually in Cancun. I was on the beach when the Columbine incident happened in Denver. And that was the first, of its kind. And then it starts to trickle, and now, it's just real crazy. But the only reason why I'm bringing that up, not no negative energy type way, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I remember I just remembered the beginnings of Columbine and how it started to trickle off. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting because whenever this situation happens, then all of a sudden Congress wants to talk and basically distract you about gun laws, And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you straight up is there's never really gonna be a change of gun laws at all. Period. You know the history of that. If you studied the ISIS papers, things like that, you'll understand that concept. But that's all I'm gonna say on that tonight. Definitely get y'all's research and your study on is what I say. So again, welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, and I am your host, MISHUMA SABA M. SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. So let's go ahead and start with today's topics, or our means of business, what we call Black First business and inventions. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Turn this light up too, so we can get a little light. All right, so here we go. The first Black inventor to receive official recognition was Henry Blair of Maryland, who received a patent for a corn harvester on October 14, 1834. Since the colonial period, African Americans have been heroes of the human spirit. Benjamin Banneker, the astronomer and mathematician, produced the first scientific writing by a Black American in his almanac, which was issued annually after 1792. Banneker also wrote a dissertation on bees and constructed what was probably the first clock made in America. It is said that a Georgia slave was partly responsible for the invention of the cotton gin. Joe Anderson, another slave, was a trusted helper of Cyrus McCormick while he was developing his reaping machine in Rockbridge, Virginia in the 1830s. Equally inventive was Norbert Ballou, a New Orleans machinist and engineer, who was granted a patent on a vacuum cup which revolutionized sugar refining methods of his day. Between 1872 and 1920, Elijah McCoy of Detroit received over 57 patents for inventions on automatic lubricating appliances and other devices pertaining to telegraphy and electricity. Many of his inventions were used on locomotives on the Canadian Northwestern Railroads and steamships on the Great Lakes. Perhaps the biggest of the early inventions was John E. Matzlinger, who created the first machine for attaching soles to shoes. The first appliance of its kind, capable of performing all the steps required to hold a shoe on its last grip and pour the leather down around the heel, guide and drive the nails into place, and then discharge the complete shoe from the machine. Matzlinger's patent was brought to the United Shoe Machinery Company of Boston, which became a multi-million-dollar corporation. Matzlinger died in 1889 in obscurity. Another major inventor was Granville T. Woods, who invented the gas inhaler, the prototype of the gas mask. Woods also invented the automatic stop sign. In 1923, he sold the patent to General Electronics Corporation for $40,000. Other leading Black inventors and creators include Philadelphia confectioner August Jackson, who was known in the 19th century as the man who invented ice cream. From Saratoga, New York, Chief Hiram S. Thomas, who reportedly created the potato chip. And George F. Grant, who contributed in 1899 the golf tee. What's y'all's thoughts on that? What's y'all's thoughts on that, viewers? Let me know. Leave a comment. Hit the like button. Share the video. Subscribe. Coffee Talk Podcast. That was a very interesting story, especially the part where we talked about Matzlinger, right? When Matzlinger went to the United Shoe Machinery Company of Boston, which became a multi-million-dollar corporation, you know, they more likely took his patent. Because a lot of companies back then was taking our patents, which is sort of like you kids would hear about a lot today in social media, the masters. They took your masters. Patent and masters are the same thing. Don't never argue about that. It's just wordplay. What it means is you created something. You had an idea. You put it together. You put it out there for the world. Somebody decides they want to take your idea. And if you don't let them, you'll go to jail or be hung. At the end of the day, somebody's taking your masters. Make sure you never sell that out. Never sell your creation. Never sell your name. Okay. All right. So that is our business and inventions. I feel good about that story. So what I want to do is go ahead and leave 4 little quick ones before we do this poem tonight. So if again, is this your first time popping in on Coffee Talk Podcast, we are a cultural variety podcast show. We are a cultural variety show, and we're just getting bigger, brighter, better. And we do this for you, our Coffee Talk viewers. So I'm just happy to be back, y'all. Y'all already know I was gone for a good 30 days. Couldn't reach out to nobody. You know, we did a show, and my rhythm was off, so I didn't want to do it, you know, and now I'm back, and I'm just happy to be back, you know. You know, like I always say on the show, you know, come on in, kick your feet up, pour yourself some coffee, a cappuccino, some tea, some wine, some water, a smoothie. But come on in, kick your feet up, and welcome to our humble home. That's what we're talking about. All right, so let me go ahead and just shoot these off. And let me say this. I'm going to pause for a minute because I almost got off track. I want to go ahead and give a shout out or a moment of silence, but I'm going to still read their names to those children, the 19 children and the 2 adults. I didn't forget about that. I said I was going to do that at the top of the show, and I kind of just jumped into our business and interventions segment. However, let me go ahead and read these names. Wherever you at, put your right hand over your heart, or put your 2 fingers together for a peace sign, and then turn your radio down, or wherever you're doing, pause what you're doing in the memory of these 21 people that was assassinated in Uvalde, Texas by shooter Salvador Ramos. So let's go ahead and get it in. Nevaeh Alessa Bravo, age 10. Jacqueline Cazares, age 9. McKenna Lee Elrod, age 10. Jose Manuel Flores Jr., age 10. Ilian Garcia, age 10. Irma Garcia, teacher, age 48. Yasla Garcia, 10. Amiri Joe Garza, 10. Xavier Lopez, age 10. Jace Carmelo Livanos, age 10. Tess Mata, age 10. Miranda Mathis, age 11. Eva Morales, 44-year-old teacher. Althea Ralmaz, age 10. Annabelle Rodriguez, age 10. Mayate Rodriguez, age 10. Alexandria Lexi Rubio, age 10. Layla Salazar, age 11. Jala Nicole Suguero, age 10. Elihana Cruz Torres, age 10. Enrolio Torres, age 10. Our hearts go out to you and your families from Coffee Talk Podcast. You know, may you be forever surrounded by positive light. So that's us giving our love and our respect and our honors to the children of Coffee Talk Podcast. And for those of you that did join in and take that moment of silence, thank you and greetings to you. Gratitude. And we really, really appreciate that. All right. So if you're just tuning in again, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, a cultural variety podcast show. And I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA. And this is our cultural variety podcast. So definitely thank you for tuning in. All right. So as we get ready to end the show, as we do on Cultural Studies Night, again, we always either do a book reading. We give props to our ancestors, man, our scholars, our authors, our scientists, our people. And we also include poems from time to time. So tonight's poem is Promises of Freedom. Now, this was written back in the plantation days, y'all. So I'm going to read it as it was written, in the language as it was written. All right, here we go. Promises of Freedom. My old mistress promised me when she died, she set me free. She lived so long that her head got bald. Oh, she give out in the notion of dying at all. My old Misty say to me, Sambo, I's willing to set you free. That when that head get slick and bald, the Lord couldn't have killed her with a big green maul. My old Misty never died. Why the nose all hooked and skin all dry. But my old miss, she's somehow gone. And she left Uncle Sambo a hill in the bone. Old Marsa likewise promised me when he died, he set me free. But old Marsa gotta make his will for to leave me a plowing old buck still. Yet my old massa promised me, but his papers didn't leave me free. A dozen pigeons helped along, made the devil preach his funny old song. That is the poem titled Promises of Freedom. You can continue to read that poem and many other stories in the book called The Crossing the Danger Waters, 300 Years of American History, edited and with an introduction from Deidre Marlane. All right, so this is our show tonight. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Studies Night. We'd like to thank you for popping in, checking out the show. Continue to support the show. We got a lot in store for you, for a friend, for your wife, for your children, for your mother, your grandmother, for us. This Coffee Talk Podcast, a cultural variety show. And I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. Stay sucker free, y'all. Rise above all BS. And always be open to learn. Let your defenses down. When you have your defenses up all the time, you isolate yourself. Those is the wise words. I'm going to go ahead and hit you with a universal peace sign. It's the God, MISHUMA, SABA, M.SABA. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. See you next time. Peace.